Beniel Dariush, the dude who is supposed to be the next contender for the lightweight championship, who just gets skipped over time and time and time again, whether it's an injury, whether it's we have a more popular fighter that's going to come in and step up, and we're going to use Michael Chandler instead of Dariush. Like, whatever it is, Dariush gets overlooked. But then you got this guy right here, Mateusz Gamrot, right? This dude, we said, oh, man, remember that Jeremy Stevens win? Remember that Kimura? We were like, oh, this guy is legit. Holy shit, man. Just how legit is Gamrot, AJ? Is he legit enough to truly get a win over Beniel Dariush? Like, is he truly a contender and a player for a massive live dog upset win, even though he's a favorite, even though it's like, how? But yeah, with all that, talk to me, brother. What do you think?
Bro, the gamer is for real, man. There's a reason this dude's name, and there's a reason why we've been saying the gamer, man. Mateusz Gamrot, excuse me. There's a reason we've been talking about this dude for months, years, however long it's been on this show, man. This dude is a legit fighter, and it's crazy that Beniel Dariush, man. I like that you gave him the respect he deserves, because this dude is one of the fighters who will just shut up and show up and sit there and take his lumps, but also give them back. And is one of the most exciting fighters who, you folks, if you were a fan of the fight game and you were a fan of a Brazilian heart and a dog in there who can really go in and for the love of the sport, man, just go in and battle. Beniel Dariush is that, but this dude literally gets stepped over by everybody. Even Joe Rogan will go so far and tell him to not make a fight against Islam Makhachev. Save Islam for later. Let him get beat by somebody else. Don't let Beniel Dariush do it because he's too dangerous and not well known enough. But this dude Dariush, man, is an absolute dog, and I'm finally excited that he's getting his big push, because I agree with you, Derek. It's been long overdue and over deserved. This dude deserves a lot more. This should have happened a lot of time. But to answer your question, Derek, yes, the gamer is here. He's going to show up and he's going to be performing. It's just not a lot of eyes have seen him, so there's a lot of mysterious questions that are coming to it. We all remember, was it the Drakkar close fight that Beniel Dariush had? Mm-hmm. You gotta be pinpoint accurate and heavy handed to put Dariush to sleep. Do you think we're going to see a knockout here? Do you think we're going to see a finish, or is this going to be a 3-round war?
I think this could be very similar to the Sarukian Gamrot fight, personally. I think that this has all the makings to do that. I mean, listen, dude, Dariush, you said it yourself. You got to put him away if you're going to put him away. There's no half-ass. There's no sugar show walk-off Kate. No, you put his ass away. You light the grave on fire after, just to make sure, like. But on the other hand, if you're a Beniel Dariush, man, how is Gamrot any different from some of the other fights that Dariush has had recently? Like, literally look at his last 5. Tony Ferguson, does that count? It's hard to count that because he went on such a rapid decline. Like, it's kind of hard to count it now. Diego Ferreira, and both of these dudes got wins over Diego Ferreira, right? Scott Holtzman, Drakkar Klose, Frank Camacho. I'm not going to say that's the biggest hit list, right? But in terms of, like, the Diego Ferreira fight, I guess that's the biggest one that we can draw a comparison from right now. He also does have wins over Drew Dober, Thiago Moises. I mean, those are the same dudes that Islam Makhachev got the wins over, right? So it's like you have to count Beniel Dariush for being able to step up to any game plan and be able to win. But for Gamrot, man, I mean, Sarukian, Ferreira, Holtzman, good wins, bro. These are good wins. And the thing that scares me the most about Gamrot is this dude's scrambling ability and his nonstop cardio does give me a little pause. Even though Dariush walks through his cardio on some weird zombie shit and he's just able to continue to go and go and go, we have to remember this is a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight. And if you remember, AJ, after round 3, what do you think the scorecard was on Sarukian and Gamrot? I want to say it was 2-1 Sarukian, and Gamrot won like the last 3 rounds or something like that, right? So like 1 and 2 for Sarukian, and the rest of the 3 for Gamrot. Gamrot cannot start slow in this fight if he wants to win, right? So what is the approach? I personally think, man, their grappling is going to cancel each other out, and then we're going to see a really, really fantastic kickboxing match, and I hope I don't get crucified for this. I think Gamrot has the advantage, bro, in the kickboxing. I think his striking is just a tad bit more technical and sharp, but Dariush strings everything together so perfect. So I don't know what else to say on this other than the clash of styles is going to make this very interesting. They're both so good at everything the same. Who has the upper hand, truly?
Truly, this one's another very hard fight to quantify, because I agree. I think the grappling's going to cancel each other out. I think the striking of Gamrot, as much as it is, will be somewhat sharper, if you will. I think the creativity or the intuition of Beniel Dariush, because he's been doing it so long, he's just gonna know what to do, man. Yeah. You put a couple punches to Beniel Dariush, and his mind almost goes on autopilot, and he fights a little bit better. He fights more instinctual, if you will, and easy. Dude, this dude is a crazy good fighter, man. And another UFC 280. Like, how are you gonna put all these good fighters back like all together, where it makes it so hard to choose one as your heart, from your heart. But sometimes you got to go with the head on this one. This is very much could be a main event on any other fight night. Maybe not a pay-per-view event, because not a lot of people are either fans or know of both of these fighters. But if this was a fight night card, man, this is one that's gonna deliver, and I can see why you think this is gonna be you consider this your main event, Derek.
But this is just a high level. This is technical. And for a grappler like me, like, this is all that I want to watch personally, man. Like, I'd love to see this. Gamrot, I'm pretty sure he was an ADCC competitor, right? So it's like, I'd love to see something like that between Dariush and Gamrot, just like a straight up grappling match. Either way, one thing that does worry me, Dariush is more of a risk taker than Gamrot is. That could get him into some trouble, but that also is what wins him fights. So you can't, it's like live by the sword, die by the sword, and I love it. And if we're talking about props, man, and the ones that stand out the most to me, right? Plus 130 for a decision victory for Gamrot. It's plus 285 for Dariush. So basically the odds makers are more or less telling us if Dariush is going to win, it's probably going to be by finish. And if Gamrot is going to win, it's probably going to be by a decision. Now, why they think that? I think it's because they think Gamrot's the better wrestler. I think that's why, personally. I can't say definitively, but which one of these props do you like the most, man, in the pick that you want to give?
I like the decision, man. That plus 130 makes a lot of sense to me. And I also think it has to do with the fact that Beniel Dariush, like we were saying, is very resilient and hard to put away. Could the gamer get it done? Yes, but I think it's more likely to be a decision win right here. How do you think Beniel gets it done?
I'm going to go decision on Beniel, man. I don't think he's going to be able to get Gamrot out of there, but I think he's going to be able to do just enough to actually edge out the decision. I mean, if you look at the last two, he decisioned Ferguson, but the one that was all scramble intensive, which I think is going to be a mimic of this fight, was the Fajeda fight, man. That was nonstop scrambles, nonstop. And it was just like a cardio session, right? A cardio battle. Who wanted it more? And Dariush did just enough to get the nod. What do you think? You don't think he got the nod on that one? You don't think he should have?
No, I did. I was actually rooting for Beniel Dariush. Man, it's hard to root against Dariush on this one, but I agree. I think the reason I made the face is because it's very debatable right there, and it's the same thing with those judges. You never know, and those decisions are hard to really put up like this and be solidified on it or fully happy with the pick.
Absolutely. And another one where we're just going to have to let fate decide, man. And we'll see what happens. But that's the picks. Those are the picks right there.